Yeah, hello guys. I hope lots of you turned in. And we're here at our World's Bootcamp, and for the Q&A, I guess you know why you are here. So let's just start right with the first question. Anyone who wants? Pedro, go ahead, pick the first one.
This?
Yes.
This?
Okay. Yeah, we have like a jar with the questions here. So
we're in Germany, Torres. We don't have computers. We use paper.
Wait, can we put the chat on the TV?
yeah,
I mean, that's what Philip's working on, right?
Okay. Good stuff.
People in the chat want Nico singing.
No, you.
Okay.
You can sing. We can sing a Spanish song together.
Oh. So, first question is, where exactly are you? It's like...
What?
Where exactly are you as a team?
Yeah. We're at our World's Bootcamp, like I said, and we're here in Bochum in Germany.
In his house.
Yes, in my flat.
Perfect. Second question is top 3 decks with highest chance of winning wars this year. Maybe Tort can give his opinion.
So far, looks like Malamar, Picazek, and Charizard has gotten a lot of hype. Those are things like
Torres, that's
Dark
really
Box and
that is
stuff.
really surprising inside Torres. Wow.
I mean,
I've never seen any of this decks.
there's
before.
basically like 5 sets left in the format, right? So there's almost no cards to play with. There's nothing extremely surprising is gonna win.
I'm gonna go with Relance. Let's go.
Relance, okay.
Yes, because like let's play multiple things at once without anywhere to search them.
I want to see that.
That's gonna work.
Good communication. Das bringt's fine.
Oh, communication. Oh, perfect.
Okay. Anything Chedinia, sort of thing. I guess gets hard countered by. I guess it's a bit too gimmicky to win worlds.
I think Shedinja could win. Just hit a lot of people that don't take against it, and
there's a heart for the boy with a yellow shirt, but there's no one with a yellow shirt.
This guy.
No, it's not yellow.
Like it looks yellow on the screen. Right?
Okay, it looks a bit yellow, I guess.
With Shedinja, you just need to dodge counters 5 times in a row, and then you're on top 8.
Oh shit!
Yes.
What a life.
Todd, have you tried playing a deck with 4 Swampards to try relive your glory days?
Haha, but that's a stage 2, and it's not allowed to play stage 2s unless it's Gardevoir, right?
That's
the rule.
right.
The rules. That's the rules.
Follow the golden rules.
Alright, so you have
the question number 3. Question number 3 is, what decks will you play, guys?
Well,
if only we knew.
That would be nice. Yeah, as we said, the meta's pretty open. Like, it's hard to say what is best, I guess. And like, we just started camping here, and like, I mean, we've had no tournaments so far, so really hard to say what's really good. But I guess Picazek sounds like a good play. I really liked that deck, so maybe that.
I mean, again, we have 5 sets to work with, so there are almost no cards.
I guess you're right about that, but there's even stuff like Behem.
Wow,
which is that?
Insane item.
That is a meme.
Ooh. No, that is Quacking Punch.
Ooh.
No.
Fabien likes
it. Not even close.
Fabien likes it then.
It's more like Excalibur than Quacking Punch. Because it is not as busted and fast, it's more like slow and inconsistent. I would guess.
I mean, if you have to play PG,
don't leak the PG.
The PG.
Quad Star Kataka with Lucario Man Metal GX. That's what I'm gonna play.
Let's go.
Oof.
And Frying Pan, of course. So guys, don't play any Lysander Labs, please. Who of you will be in Sheffield?
No.
I guess all of us.
I think all of us, yeah.
I'm not going to Sheffield. I can't
Really?
Go. Yeah.
Why?
Huh?
I have a wedding.
Oh.
Your own?
But I will be in Cologne. No, not yet.
I
will be in Cologne, so.
Can Pedro and Nico kiss on stream?
It's
I saw them in AIC do it.
Oh!
Let's go, boys!
Who even asked the question?
It's
I
too
can't
early,
see the
right?
name.
It's too early. Maybe later.
I can't see the name either.
This we are done.
It's hard to read. Okay, we have this one.
Perfect. So Nico time to read some questions in the paper. I guess we can read the question of the paper first, right? And then
Yeah.
we can try to.
I
look
mean,
at
I
it.
guess we can do both because it's hard to find votes later on.
Okay. Oh yeah, we should present ourselves.
Oh yeah, who's everyone on the couch? I don't recognize
Start
everyone.
with Pedro.
Okay, so I'm Pedro Torres from Spain, Pokemon TCG player from Limitless, and I have a stream too. I sing on a stream, it's really funny. And
Spanish music.
Spanish music.
Best stream.
We are even putting stuff Spanish music here in the bootcamp, so what can be wrong?
Can I sell mask criminal, lol.
So yeah, that's me. Now Nico.
Okay, so I'm Nico. I'm a Pokemon TCG player from Germany. I sometimes stream.
And sing.
I mean,
Sometimes.
I plan to stream more afterwards again. So, yeah. I sang once on stream, but apparently people will never forget that. So, yeah. Who are you?
But me? So I'm the French baguette TCG player. So I basically eat baguette, fromage, and drink wine. And I think it's the most important thing.
Busted play. Hello guys, I'm Robin Schulz. I'm the world champion. I will do my best to defend my title at this year's world championship. And yeah, I'm clearly the better Schulz brother if you wondered about this. And yeah, I have my brother here.
So yeah, I'm Philip Schulz, his brother, like you said. That's it.
He was sleeping when I was around the world.
Yeah, no one cares about the guy in blue.
Yeah, no. I'm from Norway. Played a couple years, and yeah, that's me.
Yeah, also you're the best at Smash, what was a question as well.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely the
To
best
make
at
it
Smash.
quick.
I don't know about Pokemon,
For
but we beat them
now.
at Smash at least.
For now. I still have 1.5 weeks.
Second best Limitless singer after Nico, I guess it's Pedro. You can see him practice on stream almost every day.
True. Should I continue with this?
Yeah, Nico.
Yeah, just continue.
Okay,
I guess.
question for Todd.
Oh,
Did Todd catch any Team Rocket Pokemon in Pokemon Go?
No, come on, that's for me, you bitch.
It's your question.
That's the question.
What do you mean?
What do you
What do you
mean?
mean?
No, I didn't even beat the Ratata. Okay, that was really hard.
But Tori's training to be a Pokemon master in Pokemon Go too.
It's really hard.
Give the time.
And question for us all again. Do you like the new worlds design for this year? The world's art and plush and everything.
Yes, I think it's looks really nice.
I'm not the biggest fan of the plush, but the playmate looks amazing, I think. So
Pikachu.
Yeah, I can
is
support
cute,
that. I also like the Playmat. Because it's okay.
but to be fair, every Pikachu is cute. So
No.
It's Desperate too.
We have even French. Questions.
Maman et
Attends,
papa
vas-y,
regardant,
on
moussu.
Oh shit,
et
it's my
Nisha
father.
Vodia. Hello.
He's eating well. He's sleeping well. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I don't think they understand English.
Oh.
Like, you can speak Spanish, maybe it will work.
Pedro, what do you think about the world's design?
The world season.
The world's design. Pikachu plush.
Oh, the world design. I'm like a Philip, not a big fan, but it's fine. I preferred like last year than this, but it's so cool.
I think it's okay, but I feel like they set the expectations too high with Nashville last year, where they put every
Yeah.
effort into fitting it to Nashville, like City of Music, own song for the city and everything. So I feel like this, I mean, wasn't really possible to upgrade it, so I guess a downgrade was kind of expected. So
What's a
what it
play,
is.
guys? What's a play, guys? What's a play, guys? Guys, we don't know what's a play. But if you know, please tell us.
We're working on it.
If you have a play, please send it our way. We will give you maybe
Fabien,
credit
Fabien,
after
it's
winning
Eddie.
world.
Oh, it's Minus. Hey, Minus. What's up?
Magnus?
Yeah,
Nice.
Kalidov.
Kalidov. Next
And
question,
it's Hedy
out of the
too.
jar.
Hedy Bramis too.
And done.
You had all the
Sweet.
questions?
There were two on
Okay,
there.
I see. Mr. Pujol.
Marlutz has the play.
What is your
Bastard.
favorite card art within the last 5 years?
Oh, that's a good one.
Favorite art.
I like Pikazek a lot. The regular Pikazek.
The league.
I really like the new White Shoe tech team.
Yeah,
You know the alternate art.
oh yeah, the alternate
It's really
art, I
cool.
like it as well. Also, Tyranitas Mega Sableye alternate art is pretty amazing.
I guess one of my favorite is the Latios and Latias, that is a heart It's really beautiful.
I think the text and alternate arts are really good in general.
I like Greninja.
Of course you do.
Break?
Yeah.
You like Greninja
No,
Break?
not Break. That's golden. Like Greninja GX, for example. Maybe.
And also like the regular Pikachu Fallout.
And then to like Celebes cards.
I like Full Art Zorak. That was a really cool card.
Yeah, Full Art Road looked nice. Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Definitely the best art.
Opinion on Electros and Pika. What was
Yeah,
Electros
that's
account
about
against? Again, Keldeo?
Keldeo and like Mutobox using Altaria.
Oh yeah. So if you expect Mutabox and Altaria and Keldeo, you might want to consider, but since both lose the power plant and seem kind of wacky, I don't know if it's worth it. But, I mean, always worth it countering, committing few cards to have very good percentages against some decks. So
I think it's like fine one-off, but I hate having like hard auto losses
Yeah,
when
it kind
the
of
opponent puts down one card and just say scoop. I really hate
Yeah,
that. So like,
sucks.
I can really like playing it for that reason. So you can actually still do something.
what do you think is the key to success at Worlds, guys? What is the key, Pedro?
I guess you, as a world champion, can answer.
Well, I mean, you built the deck the day before last time
I
and won,
mean,
right? So
Yeah, like
Hello?
I guess that's, I guess
having
that's the key.
having a deck you feel comfortable with, like not relying too much on the other boys and just using your own mind to pick your deck. Also, like let turn 1 let loose and 200 damage. It was a pretty good strategy. Almost got there, but yeah, like using N to 1 was better. So I guess use Reset Stamp and Gamotoxin.
Jeez.
What are you gonna do now with Zorak rotated?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Me?
We continue playing.
Time to retire. We had a
That was
good
a good
run.
year.
I mean, there are still expanded events somewhere, right?
Busted.
Still have a chance.
You can go
so-
America to play
Come
Spanish
to
events.
America next season.
I mean, I did play Pokemon before Zorak was printed, right? So I know I can still play. For sure.
Did you guys miss me, JSP? Nah.
Yes, JSP.
No.
Who is JSP?
Oh yeah. Everyone
We
misses
fine, right?
JSP.
How was Jesper?
So guys, next question
Yes.
on the paper. What do you think of Ultra Malamar? I'm a senior, I used it for day one.
I guess it's the best deck we can play, right? Malamar
I
made
mean-
finals last year.
Yeah.
Busted.
Phew.
Insane deck.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's better than last year, and last year it already made finals. So what can go wrong?
Did it make finals though? Let me check the Worlds booklet.
Yeah, I can't see any
Oh.
recording.
It
stuff, I
made
think.
finals. It didn't finish second place.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think Ultra is probably my favorite Malamar version right now. So, yeah, it seems good. Has outs against basically everything.
Malamar is bait. Lol.
I mean, it's
Yes, so yes.
it's not really my type of deck, but it's not a bad deck.
Malamar Pikachu, Mark said.
Malamar Pikachu Mark, go home.
Mar likes to play 2 Malamar, right?
I mean, that's the same person that played Plasma with Garudo at Worlds, so...
I mean, generally Mark's of course a very good player and deck builder, but never trust him at Worlds. That's a rule that every German player knows.
True.
I guess it's a
Very
good
true.
question for Robin.
I have a question for Robin. What was the first thing that came to your head when you used Guzma for the World Champion title? GG, too easy. I mean, it was Malamar. I knew what I would be facing, so...
Like we already had a celebration dinner last
Yeah,
night, so it was like
I was basically like, all right, this is routine. I'm gonna finish this guy quickly, and then I had Guzma for game. Was like,
You're not
GG.
Robin!
It didn't look that easy.
Don't tell anyone.
I don't really remember. Honestly. No idea.
Felt great, right? Felt great.
Probably.
Philip, it's your time to pick something
Well,
off the jar.
Some papers.
Yeah.
Thoughts about Darkrai? What do you think of Whimsicott? What's the best tech right now in your point in
Whimsicott.
It was
Which
for multiple
in-
questions.
I don't think there will be a very central format, so pretty open, lots of decks, try to beat all of them. Thoughts about Darkrai? I don't know, it seems slow. What do you think of
I tested
Whimsicott?
Darkrai Greninja, but it wasn't good enough compared to Pikachu or Reshizard. Just
Darkrai, Greninja.
I know
Dark Rai.
No,
So-
it's-
Sword Ninja?
Oh, it's actually wrong. I mean Zoro Ninja, but it's basically Darkrai from
Yeah.
Dark Pulse.
sure.
Seems good. Seems
It's
alright.
Dark Pulse, right?
Seems
But
a
Dark
bit
Box,
slow.
I also don't really like Dark Box. So
Okay, let's continue first. How does Darkbox been in your testing? Oh, perfect. We basically just talked about it, but yeah. I mean, we are still in the process of testing it. Of course, dark Pokemon are the best basic energy format, so like that is a big advantage for the deck.
yeah, I think some people here are liking it and others don't. We don't have.
It's
We
kind of
don't
awkward.
agree on it.
It's kind of
I'm kinda
awkward
split
setting
so
up
far.
multiple stage ones, so that's not amazing, but it's definitely a powerful archetype. So like, if you have a dark build that you think is very consistent, then go for it, I guess.
He's the new Nagana Quagsire, just saying.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I
but better.
guess. If you feel like you can't set up enough times, then it's not good. But if you set up most of the times, then I guess you can win many games with it. This one's for Pedro. There's something for Pedro.
What do you think about the player who didn't let you go onto the finals? I suppose it's Worlds, right? So he was a good guy. He beats me round 1 and top 4, but he's a good guy. So
He
that's
beat you twice.
Yes.
Beat you on one as well?
I bricked twice in round 1 of Worlds, and then I said, "Why I'm not playing solo arc?" But he's a really good guy. I mean, so
It gets you a lot of like on Twitter. Yikes. Are you excited or annoyed by the pre-Worlds rotation? And why? I guess all of us have probably different opinions on that. So, Todd, what's your opinion on that?
On what?
Rotation pre-Worlds.
Oh.
Do you like it? And why?
Last time they did it, I was actually not present at that Worlds.
Oh yes.
But I heard everyone complaining that that
Mhm.
was the worst Worlds ever held.
It was my first Worlds, and it was
But I think that
Garbage.
also had something to do with the only guest effect being a flip effect, which is never great since guest effects are, in my opinion, bullshit and shouldn't be in the game in the first place. And only having that accessible with flip makes every game super random. So,
I guess.
but now we at least have safe guest effects, but they are very limited since you can only use like 2 of them. So.
Pick the player you think will win, guys. Oh, we still had the Moobot from the last regionals. That's that's starting giveaways and is asking people to pick who they
I
think
want to
will
join
win.
the giveaway.
Let's join.
I think it will also be okay, but so far it looked like games last very few rounds or turns. I mean,
It is true.
so we had multiple games being ended on turn 3 or 4, so that's just how it is right now. But I don't know. Seems okay. We'll see how Clown Fiesta will really be.
Any other opinions?
I really like this format we are testing so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting, really funny.
Yeah.
I guess you have more options to play, so
I had big doubts going into this testing because usually the beginning of a season is like the worst part of it because all decks are super inconsistent and you'll have like super wacky strategies and have to rely a lot on luck and sometimes even flips. But this feels pretty okay so far. Like there's a big diversity of what you can play and like it seems relatively hard to build things. So it's kind of interesting that you have lots of building options and yeah, not only lots of decks but also lots of ways to build those decks. So it's kind of cool to have worlds and something that's completely unknown and new. So yeah.
I'm coming back next season, I guess, in a way.
You were never gone.
I were
Don't
never
lie.
gone.
You
But
were
I was
never
to
gone.
a little to fewer tournaments, but I was never gone. I was still testing a lot.
Thoughts on Hero and Smash?
Ooh, it's broken. It's
random.
RNG and Smash is the best thing ever.
It's like Samus
No.
and Lucina, both my mains
No,
combined. Insane.
And it can randomly crit.
get this
Yes.
character out of here.
Broken.
Get out.
New main.
Neo Mario Party, right?
Give me Banjo. Give me Monty from Mario Party.
No.
But he's the best.
The form is just fast. How good is Spirit Hump and why will it win worlds? It seems whack because it loses to Malam.
Yeah, Malama's keeping a lot of like random decks out of the
Yeah,
format
if
to
you
itself.
want to play a deck this format and it's like some wacky concept, then ask yourself, would you be fine facing 5 Malama? And if the answer is, oh, if I face 5 Malama, I'm gonna go 0-5 drop, then you should not play your deck. Do you like this year's Worlds theme? I guess we talked about this. We don't
Smash
like it
Balls.
too much. Last year's theme was
Better.
amazing, but this year's it seems okay. Do you think one of you will win Worlds? Of course, back-to-back champion, me, myself, me, Robin Schulz. If anyone wants signatures,
If
just-
not, it's Philip time. So we're fine.
I guess you can do it to Philip this time.
I mean, serious answers, Worlds winning is of course extremely difficult. It's very hard to predict going into there, and lots of players like to take risks, like Pedro last year, just because it's such a stacked field of very good opponents and like everyone trying to meta game and everything. So it's of course very hard, and also it's very little rounds. Like having just 7 Swiss rounds and top 8 makes like variance count more than usually at like 17, 18 round tournaments. So
We will try.
it's really hard, but we're trying our best.
You have to play some extra rounds.
Yeah. Who thought about the Neganadal GX idea for NASC? I don't know. It was either Todd or Jens. Well, who
Was
thought
Eddie-
about Neganadal?
Eddie
in-
Brown,
What
right?
it
was
was Edie's idea.
What's Eddie?
Eddie?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was Eddie Brahmi. Sorry, guys.
No, I did it at the same time, but
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
he also had the same idea, like separately. So was definitely something there.
Someone asked for the celebration dinner options. If I win Worlds, we eat at Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
No.
No.
It's way too budget.
What do you mean? It's Taco Bell.
It's too
Yeah,
much.
it's
Good
way too
American dinner.
budget. We have to pick something with something that has at least $2 or $3 signs on Google.
Wait,
What do you
wait, there
mean?
was a question for me
Something
from some
expensive.
Italian guy. I missed it. What was it?
I don't know. Which restaurant will you guys be at for the celebration party?
Chat's going to
You
be
could say free card from rotation. Which card would you have chosen?
Free cards.
Ultra Ball, definitely.
Nestball.
I don't know.
Nesball.
I would skip
Yeah.
Nestball.
I guess
Ultra Ball,
Nestball,
DC,
but Ultra
Nesball.
Ball is Ultra Ball and Nestball were both super broken, so I don't mind too much that they are gone.
Yeah,
I'm a
but
Zapdos player. I
No,
want
thank you
Nestball.
so
I don't need
much.
Ultra Ball.
the thing I dislike in this format is lack of
It was nice
Good.
meeting you.
searchable card. You know.
Yeah, but I don't know. It kind of feels like it makes decks too fast and too strong and consistent. Like I would have just let Dedenne rotate in Cornforth that was possible, and saved the Tabulela instead. But
Yeah, I would also say Tabulela.
like Tabulela is much nicer than Dedenne in my opinion, but because Dedenne is just so fast and makes games so quick and short. But cards I would have saved.
Also, it's weird to have Garbodor rotating.
I guess I would have saved Alolan Mug. That blocks abilities.
Trollito as or I don't know. Do you consider yourselves as celebrities in the game? I guess
No.
No.
maybe Tort.
I guess by the amount of times Tots get asked for signatures while I'm talking to him or something like that, I guess he's kind of a celebrity.
I guess in very closed events, maybe, but
How many?
still just a normal guy.
Oh,
for
that's
sure.
a good. There's a good question. How many people have congratulated you, Philip, on your Worlds win? Actually, you would not believe how many people think I'm Robin. It's ridiculous. Like 1 per tournament at least. I mean, it's nice of you guys. Thanks for the support. I'm trying to win Worlds at some other time, so you can actually congratulate me.
Then they will go for Robin.
Can you turn volume up? It's kind of quiet. No, sorry guys, we can't. It's the maximum we can do.
But you can move closer.
Also, you
move the
can.
mic closer, I mean.
Yeah, but like it's really hard to be all close because I don't know.
Maybe better now.
Top 5 characters in Smash. Top 5 that we like or top 5 that we think are the best characters?
Pokemon Trainer, Pikachu, are
Jigglypuff,
definitely up there.
Pichu,
Jigglypuff, Pichu.
Greninja.
Is Lucario
Greninja.
still in the game?
Yeah,
Of course, everyone is here.
everyone.
I just have never seen Lucario in action, so. Have you seen Solgaleo
Philip.
Lunala tag team? I don't
Philip.
know.
Philip, what was your worst ever misplay?
It's Eddie who's
Eddie
asking
asked.
that.
Really? Where? I can't see the question.
Second to last
Yeah.
question.
What was your worst misplay ever, Philip? I guess Sao Paulo top 8.
Oh yeah, that was a bad one.
I put down a Hooper for no reason because I wanted to search Hooper and pick Dark Ray Shaman, but Shaman was priced. But then I forgot to put Hooper back into the deck, and then I put it down for some reason as well, and then I lost my top 8 game really close because of that. And like I think top 4 would have been super easy, so I probably would have made it to finals in Sao Paulo if I hadn't misplayed in top 8. That was pretty bad. Yeah.
You can take more paper.
Yeah,
time.
sure.
Or your time, more rolling time.
What do you mean? He's Robin.
What do you think about the new format? I
Okay,
think
right.
we answered that a few times. So we think it's fine so far.
Thumbs up from me.
Yeah. Like no major complaints.
You get like this.
so
The best.
it's like there's like few cards, so there's not much depth, it feels like, but could be much worse. Okay.
Could be worse, yeah.
And second question, best Smash player, I guess from us here,
Leffen.
because otherwise it would be MK Leo, but yeah, Todd definitely.
Yes.
Not for
We
long.
got
Cool.
him.
Not for long.
Who can do
Wait,
the
I will
most
come.
push-ups? Definitely not Nico. I guess me.
What do you mean?
Probably Philip.
1v1. Next stream.
Definitely not
Tune
me.
in next week, same time, push-up stream. Battle.
Easy.
Definitely not me. So
How many do you do, Philip?
I don't know. Like continuous
Yes.
20 maybe.
It's not that much.
Well, I can challenge that.
ooh.
I don't know. Maybe.
Of course. A little bit.
A little bit overweight, I guess. Yikes.
Too much taco day.
Oh. Taco day.
Yeah.
I think we have one
Who of
paper.
you has won
Who
the
of
most
you won the
cups?
most cup?
Pedro!
Hey, to answer that
Okay.
question, this season I made top 8 at an internets, and I won a regional. But Pedro almost has more CP than me with only League Cups and nothing else.
I have won my first ever League Cup this season in the last quarter. So there's your answer from me.
I guess we have like one city in Spain that has more caps than the entire Germany. So yeah, we have like a cup or double league cup every weekend in Spain. So I played so much and I won so much. But I mean, they should maybe limited league cups in countries, because there's no sense that Spain has like 100 league cups and other countries has.
Why? Oh, yeah. Why does Samus suck in Smash, guys? If you have seen Samus back air, forte, and dash, then it definitely doesn't suck.
No, Samus is actually pretty bad.
The V button.
Yeah, the B button's pretty annoying
It's
as
like
well.
being tired best.
Why am I retired? Because I don't have that much time to play Pokemon. Do you play auto chess?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
We have like 3 guys that play
Never
and 3
touched
that
it.
not.
So like our gay couple plays auto
Gay-
chess.
What do you mean?
What?
What?
You're just jealous.
Not in an offensive way, of course.
The best player in the room.
In
talking
which
about
game?
Pokemon TCG, Torres, then Lydia, and then
And the rest.
I think Lydia is the best one actually.
yeah.
Why is the best EU player?
Where's the best you? I don't know where Manuel is, to be fair.
Yeah.
I guess he's in France, right?
Why would Manuel be in France? Isn't he from Austria?
What did you eat
I
today?
guess-
Oh, we eat doner kebab.
Doner, guys.
Doner
Today
kebab,
was-
yeah.
Best
Today
thing.
was doner kebab.
Best.
Yes. Usually we cook, but today not.
Unfortunately, it's not possible. Eddie. You need
How
to
about-
plug your earpod.
How about renting a house in Spain? That actually sounds amazing. Limitless house in Spain? No, actually,
Maybe next
never
year.
mind. With climate change, I would not do that. Like I can
Todd
barely,
would die on day one.
I can barely stand.
sure.
I can barely stand summers in Germany. Like summers in Spain would definitely kill me. Boys, you talk really quiet. We do our best. We're sorry. It's like kind of hard to be close to the mic. It's over
With
here.
so many people.
But yeah, we're like
Well,
6 people that need to fit in front
I
of
like
the
that
mic.
question. When testing a deck, what percentage of the time do you expect it to set up?
100%.
100%.
Personally, if my deck is not setting up on its own, at least 85% of the time, I swap cards immediately.
Yeah, I guess like 80 at least.
Like at least 80%. You can't like fault yourself more than 1/5 of the time. That's already pretty bad.
You can count what your Bridget outs are with 11 cards. And like with probably something around 80. Like 11 outs for Bridget, and then this is the percentage that you need to set up. Actually 10. Did we play 10?
We have a Spanish
Oh yeah, we played 10 hours.
Spanish question. How is your Spanish, guys?
No hablo español.
Es
I actually thought
muy caliente.
Habla un poco español.
Tort habla un poco español. Yeah.
Vamos a la playa.
Oh, despacito.
Sí. Muchos grande taco.
Pedro, you have to talk
Salsa
closer
tequila.
to the mic.
Yeah, that's
apparently.
fine.
Okay.
Do you see yourselves in more than 10 years still playing?
Depends on the game growth.
I mean, I do.
I mean, I have other goals in life as well, but if we get more regionals and I don't know, and not too much to complain about, then I don't know why not.
I mean, I guess it's hard to say. I think every one of us, like 10 years ago, like except Pedro, he doesn't play for 10 years, also didn't expect to still be playing probably.
Yeah.
But we're still here, so we might as well be here in 10 more years.
Yeah, like as someone who tried out retirement, at least a bit, I gotta say playing Pokemon is actually really fun. So like if you feel yourself that you're burnt out and don't enjoy much Pokemon anymore, try taking a break because you will probably miss it. Just because like even when a new set comes out and you want to test for it and everything, it's really fun. Even if not preparing for a specific tournament, so
Definitely.
so yeah, Pokemon is a really fun game. Don't see why not play it.
Yeah.
I will be so old, but maybe.
Oh, you're already so
You're
old.
already
Exactly.
Yeah, also Fabien, he's barely 10 years, so he can't say what happened.
He barely aged up to juniors this year, so.
Lol. I hate you.
Whoa.
Oh. Open your paper. Pedro.
He's for
Oh, Tort.
Oh, yeah.
Tort.
Oh, I get a note. All right.
It's a love letter from Pedro.
Will Limitless take home another World Championship this year?
We will try, right?
Yeah, we'll try.
Hopefully, but it won't be easy.
Let's hope so.
We believe in Jesper, so.
Yeah, Jesper's
I
gonna
mean-
crush it for sure. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we will probably not stop until every one of us has a title, so still plenty of wins ahead.
Then I guess we need 10 more Worlds then.
No, like 4 for Limitless.
Well taught.
If you have
Unlucky.
100% success rate,
Yes,
and you
easy.
get the right person each time to win one.
Easy.
Yeah, of course. You just scoop him the final, everything go fine. Okay, so how do you beat Shedinia?
You can't. It's a ninja.
Play for Faba to Palpad.
I guess that's the most annoying part about the format right now, because Shedinia is super annoying because you have to commit so much deck space to beating it.
Yeah, like I guess Faber is the most effective at beating it.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
Kind of seems.
Faber and Oranguru can't really be countered.
Yeah, but like
like as easily as other stuff.
generally, I think Lysander Labs is better to beating it because Lysander Labs is like useful in many other matchups as well. Because for
Yes.
example, against Malama with spell tags, you wanna like just go through the Guillotine Sword XP rate with spell tags. So that is actually a useful card, not like Faber where you
Yeah.
90% of the time would play like 58, 57 cards.
But like the old Shedinia could deal with 4 Guzma. So now we need to
Yeah.
play 4 stadiums and probably some other ways to take prizes too, like Christian Catcher or even Monkey to recycle
Yeah.
stadiums or something.
I was
It's just
I guess.
such a big commitment of space to beat
Oh,
that
also,
shit.
a very easy way to beating it is like you can. There's a Moltres that for each fire energy discards a card from your opponent's deck. So if you play that in a fire deck, you can easily just mill your opponent. Or you can play Macago with Mewtwo, and then you probably need like the supporter that does the same as Pokemon Ranger, but you can just mill your opponent, and in Dark Box you can just play the Ranger as well and use Tyranta's Cheeks attack. So that's a pretty good way of beating it, because you just have to commit like 1 or 2 cards.
Frostless as a surprise deck for Worlds? I don't think it will be a surprise, and the people playing Fire will probably play Mewtwo as well, so doesn't really seem like a great pick, honestly.
Yeah, also like what I really dislike is like you set up a stage 1 in a format where it's already hard to set up a stage 1 because there's so little search.
Yes.
And then it's like a super specific stage 1 that's only really good in one matchup and it kills itself. So like
Why not play Malamar?
in
right?
my
Process doesn't
opinion,
kill itself.
yeah, but basically, so it's dead right away. Like,
I mean,
it
It's like
survives
you
with
need
10
to
deck.
you need to stream stage 1 that doesn't
Yeah.
that only hits one specific thing for weakness, and even that deck has ways to play around it. So yeah, doesn't seem like the best.
And it's annoying that Frostless doesn't work with Hasselbelt the way it should.
Oh yeah, if it did, then it could actually
So-
be a little better. It still doesn't hit 2 great numbers with 200,
Yeah.
but even then it would be like okay-ish. Could at least KO the Dene, I guess.
You need to do 140 and then Hasselbelt and then 200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But you will-
what does 200 even knock out that's relevant? Exactly. I guess you can knock out Weavile. Weavile has 200 HP. That's the only thing
Yeah.
I come to mind.
What card's better, Garp or Toad? the hard
Oh.
questions coming up now.
I think Toad. Like, Garb is better if you have his friend Zorak with him. But Toad is the best.
Yeah, it's actually broken.
Also also it's Fabien with E. I hate you now.
Fabien.
Yeah.
Are you Joe Bernard? He always
Also-
write my name with a A. Always. Or a Y with a Pujol.
Also, Toad is also kind of weird written.
Chief asked it before. What's our plan for Saturday?
We hide somewhere.
Yikes.
We play Pokemon Go to get the Rayquaza.
Every day.
I'm getting routes.
Oh, also Pachirisu in Pikazek sounds like a decent option, but like if tools were popular, still would be really nice to like resist and paralyze your opponent with an on-cheek, something like that, and then finish it off. But without it, it's not very useful, and it's also not like an easy way to beat Shedinia.
Like Shedinia can still do and other stuff than just research management every turn. They can knock
Yeah.
out your tech Pokemon, and like they don't only have to use management for Shedinia every turn. They can do other stuff. So
Yeah, like generally would like retreat Zapdos, Pachi, stuff like that, but they also have Power Plant and I don't know, lots of stuff that can be really annoying.
yeah.
What's everyone's all-time favorite deck?
You
Torres
start.
or me?
Volcanion, let's go.
Yeah, between Volcanion and Rayquaza.
Whoa! Oh my god!
Hyrule
So
City.
both, I guess.
Oh my god.
Nico,
I mean,
Greninja,
The-
Fabian.
that's probably the question everyone expects, but it's Luxtromp from back in the days. But Greninja was
Good
funny
deck.
when you set up. When you don't set up, then it's not funny.
Like Greninja.
It's
Fabien?
Greninja, that's
I
why.
think it's probably Sesame Toad and I don't know the name.
Quick
Puff.
Quick
Slurpuff.
Oh,
Slurpuff, yeah,
Slurpuff.
Sesame Toad Slurpuff with
Quick Punch.
the Lysander.
We never used Quick and Punch.
It was like funny and the mirror was just horrible, but Quacking Punch, right? It's amazing.
My favorite deck, it's hard to tell. Like, it's probably Mudos from same era as Luxtromp. Was an amazing deck, was really fun to play, and yeah. Also, I really liked Straight Seismitoad, just because it was the most broken deck I ever built, so that was pretty cool as well, because you just auto-win everything, and like you barely have to play at all, you just sit down and you win. So that was cool.
I really liked Seismitoad Slurpuff. It was pretty fun just playing for scoop ups and for crushing hammers every turn. And
True.
You make some friends, right?
and I also really liked the old Porygon Z that used the technical machines. I used to play that deck a lot in seniors. Was really cool. And of course Zoro Garp, I guess. Was really nice deck.
I guess it was okay.
And Turt?
For years, it actually used to be LBS, which was Lugia EX, Blastoise EX, Steelix EX, from the 2006 era, which was like this crazy combo deck where you had all these rainbow type attackers, used Hoenn Magneton and Blastoise to power them up. That was really cool. But after the printing of Zorak, when I made the Sauropod deck for London, I think that shifted to be my favorite deck. Because I was playing Sauropod, was the first tournament Zorak was legal, and half the rounds my opponent picked up Zorak and had to read it, because everyone thought the card was shit and that no one wanted to play it. And I was sitting there trading, just having the time of my life, cruising through the tournament. Oh, it was so much fun. I think I'll have to go with Sauropod now.
I will translate a Spanish question. How many hours do you play as a week, more or less, to maintain the level? As a mid,
Oh.
So Tord, how many hours do you play a week to maintain the level? More
It really
or less.
depends.
More or less, yeah.
I can go a whole week without playing, but it's very rare. I usually play every week, even in the periods where I don't really play. But when I really try, I play every day, and usually multiple hours every day as well.
Me too.
I also really like grinding Tcg, because you can let a lot of games in, shuffle for you, and does everything. Even though you play against random opponents and level isn't always the best, you still get a lot of games in. So at least you get to see the percentage where your deck sets up and not, right? So you can get to see like the percentage if it's nearing around the 80-90% you want.
Yeah, was it a general question or one
Yeah,
for Todd?
for everyone.
Yeah, I generally think Todd plays a bit too much. Because like I think you don't need to play as much, because sometimes it's even counterproductive, because you get too hard stuck on a certain mindset. So like just having a bit more distance sometimes is better. And like what is really important is before a big tournament you should like definitely play a very big amount. So like you need to have played like all the decks that there are at least a bit, so you have a decent idea on them, and then you should probably play like 100 games or something with the deck you're actually ending up to play, because that really helps to like not only just know what you have to do, but also like feel confident all the time, and so you like make the right plays and don't get nervous or anything like that. So like in general you don't need to play as much, but to get a good idea of the meta and to be comfortable with your deck, you should definitely put in a lot of time.
I guess you need to find a balance, right?
Yeah.
Not playing too much, but not playing too less, so you don't get burned out, I guess, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that too. So, say multiple hours. You still need to do other stuff during the day. Just don't wake up, play for 12 hours and go to sleep. That won't really work. You should try to take care of yourself as well.
But yeah, I guess Tort and me, I guess we are with which the most playtest on this year line, but the other guys always plays too, so maybe not that much, but but they play.
Yeah, how can Shedinja beat Malamar? So I think first you just need to play the Latios GX, so you don't lose against like their random GX attacks, like the Espeon, Deoxys, or like even just Ultra's GX attacks pretty good. And then you attach 3 energy to your Oranguru, KO their Mew, and then you should win, basically.
Yeah, like they have like 2 ghost effects, so they can't really take much prizes. And if you play Champions Festival, they can't even do self chaos and try to ping you out because you heal the damage off anyway. So seems like a really fine matchup. They need to play a shit ton of labs to have a chance, it seems like.
What's the most efficient way for testing? I think generally PTCGO is a good way to test if a deck works or not, because like you can play very fast. Because like Todd said, you don't have to shuffle and everything, and you can change your deck quickly and get it ready, and you always find an impermanent immediately. So like playing like 10-20 games to see if your deck works is very good. Then like also playing a couple games to like see different matchups and figure out how those work out in general are good. So like basically PCGO is a good way to test if you should discard your deck right away. But other than that, testing against a very good opponent, someone you know, and like playing against him directly, and then thinking about what actually made you win or lose the games is like better testing, because just like I don't know, like 3 games against Robin feel like they teach me more than like 30 games on PTCGO. So like if I can't play in real life with Robin, that's usually much more insightful than like just playing for hours on PTCGO.
I think that's a good question. What got you guys into Pokemon?
Pooh.
Let's start with Todd, I guess.
You start with me. So I was gonna download Deoxys for the DS, because that was the only Pokemon I played. I just played the Game Boy or DS. So I went to a place where that was distributed, because you had to actually go places before, not just download it online. And I saw people playing Pokemon cards, and my mom taught me the game when I was like 5. I didn't know people actually play that competitively, and I saw people playing. I was like, oh shit, I need to do that. I want to go here. I beat mom all the time. I'm probably the best, and I got the league the next week, and I got smacked by everyone and everything, of course, because my decks were shit and I was shit. So ever since then, I really wanted to grind and try to be better. That's my story.
I think we've just always played a lot of Pokemon, like with Game Boy games and the DS games, and also played a lot of trading card games. Like basically everything that was ever popular, like Yu-Gi-Oh! And a lot of other random games. And yeah, then Pokemon just, I don't know, naturally happened at some point. And I don't even know how we got into tournaments. Like at some point we like found out there's the German nationals, and then just went there.
Yeah, like I don't really know what got us into playing, but I just went to tournaments that were nearby and didn't really have any idea what I was doing most of the time for like the first year or so playing, or 2 years, I don't know. Like I played like a few tournaments every other month, and like had no real idea what I was doing, just knew the rules basically. And yeah, at some point, I don't remember what exactly it was, but I wanted to like properly prepare for a tournament, so I like started really testing my deck a lot and thinking about the list and stuff, and why the cards are in there and what I actually need to win games. And yeah, I think that was like the moment where it made click and really got me into real competitive Pokemon, and that also got me my first travel award. So that was pretty cool.
So I started to play like 2007, so I was a child, and actually it was my brother who taught me how to play. He started to play Pokemon competitively, and he just like taught me everything, and I just played some tournaments and continued playing since the junior division. So now I'm here, and I never stopped. So I think it's my story. It's a basic story, but it works.
Yeah, so I've been like collecting cards basically ever since I was 4 years old or something, and then we used to play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! In high school, and then eventually a friend of mine started to like learn the rules actually, because we never played with rules or played at all, and then we were just playing for fun and we really enjoyed the game. And then another friend from our group just came up, oh, there's going to be this and this tournament next month, do you guys want to go there? And then we went there. We all had super shitty decks, and but we enjoyed the game, and we like back in the days we used to meet basically every week, played super horrible decks, but we had a lot of fun. Then we played tournaments, and then we started to improve our decks, and then just kept getting better and better, and yeah, I guess now we're here.
So my mom bought me Pokemon Yellow when I was really child.
I was thinking about, we get a really recent answer because Pedro started a few years ago, but no, he goes all the way back.
Pokemon Yellow.
When I was 5 years old, guys.
So I liked Pokemon since a child. I always collect cards from base set until nowadays. In 2013, I guess, a friend that I collect and I trade with it, he showed me that there is a game, Pokemon TCG, that you only not collect and you can play with the cards. So he showed me how to play in Pokemon TCG Online. It was. And then I started to play. I liked the game, and then I started to grind for myself until today.
All right.
Very good.
There was a really good question earlier on that like I saw, but it's not on there anymore. It was like, what is the most underrated aspect of a game that most people should like be aware of or something? And I think it's mentality, which seems kind of underrated. But I think in general, like many people like to blame luck for whichever thing or something like that, and I just think it's a very bad attitude. Not just because it like hurts yourself. Like instead, I think it's very important to just like always focus on what you could have done better, because I'm very sure that at every tournament there will be something you could have done better, and even if you think it did not get punished, you could have done it better, and then the odds of like then you would have needed less luck later on, and so on and so on. So like just try to always look for your mistakes and like try to improve everything, and if you think you played perfect, then you probably are wrong and need to overthink it again, and always find something that was wrong and think about how you can improve next time. And yeah, that like just trying to always get better, that I think is a very important thing that is also pretty underrated.
Yeah, I agree. Like in general, for my experience in my local league or in my country in general, I have the feeling that people complain so much about luck or complain so much because they break but it's really hard that you see a guy from my experience in my country that they said, okay, you win because you are better than me or you play better than me. It's funny because a lot of people said, okay, Pedro has a really good luck. Always that's why he wins. And yeah, it started like a joke, but more time it passed. It's really hard to see people said, okay, why I lost, right? Let's go back. Maybe I could play better. Maybe I could, maybe my deck could be better, my deck list, or maybe my decisions were not that great. So I guess that's a mentality that, in my opinion, people should change. And yeah, of course you can lose because bad luck. That's a part of the game, and we need to accept it. I think sometimes I could play better, and that's why I lost. And I think sometimes I did my best or almost my best, and I lost because my opponent draw, for example, the card he needs in end to one, and I need to accept it because it's the part of the game. So I guess, like Philip said, is the really important that you can lose like for a misplay or bad luck or whatever, but you need to focus on what you did bad to improve that and try to become better as a player.
Exactly.
I mean, it's always easier to blame something that you are not responsible with than actually trying to analyze something. So.
Exactly.
I really like the question. If you could replay one specific match in your career, which one would it be for you guys? Personally, I would replay my top 8 match against Stefan Ivanov in 2018 at the NAIC, just because I trained a lot with Stefan with Zorogarb at this point, and I never played the mirror match, and Zorogarb wasn't that played at this time, so I wasn't prepared, and I felt stupid in mirror match because I did so much shit in my game, and I could play better and have like a better result than top 8 even if it's good, but for me it's that match.
Yeah, I thought you would say, my top 4 match against Maflutz and Bilbao SP. Just because even if you won, it was just so funny that you would like to play it again. I would replay Sao Paulo top 8 because, as I said earlier, I think I threw that, and I think I would have had I would have faced the same deck in top 4 as I faced in top 8, and like top 8 already felt very manageable, and I think top 4 would have been much easier, so I think until finals would have been pretty easy, and then I would have I think I would have a very good shot at making finals and an okay chance of winning, because the finals matchup would have been pretty bad, but could have gotten lucky. Anyone else? Anything you would like to replay?
Yes. I would also rematch Stefana at the NIC.
Hello.
The final, rather, though. I was not feeling too great before the match started. I don't know why. I just didn't feel too great that day. But I watched the replay as well, and we also like to try to discuss it. And overall, the plays were okay. I could have tried the more conservative strategy, and also target other things. So I could optimize my game 1 for sure. Could probably have won it, playing a little different. With game 2, I would still have lost no matter what I did because couldn't do much with those draws. But I would just want to replay the whole thing and just shuffle my deck again and see how the cards would have played out this time. That would have been great.
I regret not let lose my opponent game 3 top 4 at Worlds instead of Sycamore.
Why do you do that, Pedro?
Because I fear, okay, imagine I let lose and I dead draw. I will regret all my life don't do that Sycamore that I had in hand. So I thought, okay, I can Sycamore and find my second let loose or one of my 2 stretchers. But then I Sycamore into like nothing. So
Yes.
I always let loose, guys.
I guess if we just talk about misplays, I guess I would like to replay my top 8 win in Cannes against Alessandro, because I straight up just threw the game away. And if we just talk about also getting different ING, I would like to replay my regional finals against Adam Hawkins, because I just straight up bricked game 2 and 3. So yeah, that's what I would like to replay if we get different ING.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. Robin, anything you would replay Worlds Finals just to like get the feeling of winning it again?
No, I'm fine with that. It was actually a pretty good finals, I think. Like,
Yeah, it was.
were pretty interesting games.
It was surprisingly interesting for like him only playing 2 field blower.
Yeah, too interesting. Yeah, I'm happy with that, and don't really like. Of course, I've misplayed a good amount of times, but like no really crucial games that I really would like to rewind. I think I'm fine with my career so far.
I guess we can answer another interesting question that could be the other side, like which matchup or which game or which round is our favorite in our life and which is the reason. Maybe that could be interesting.
Wait,
For example,
who's
I-
that? Is that Joe?
Nico.
No, I don't. I don't know.
Okay, can I start with my favorite round?
No.
Maybe
My-
you can
my-
show
my-
us on
In
screen
your
if
life.
you-
In my life,
Oh, so I
my
don't know.
favorite round
played
in
like
my
14.
entire life was day 2 Lille SPE when I played against Fabien, and I used Chimeco that prevents the opponent from evolving into Pokemon with abilities, and he just straight up thought he can't use abilities, so he just sits there with 3 Decidueye and he just goes pass, pass, pass.
No
That was my
favorite
favorite
round.
game.
No
I didn't care if I lose, it was just
I
fun.
even won this game.
Yeah.
My favorite game, for example, I guess it wasn't finals of Oceania. It wasn't the finals of a regional I won. Like the game that I remember with more enthusiastic is the top 8 at Wars. I faced Eric Smith. We faced a Rayquaza Mirror, and I should have the advantage because my list was faster, and I played the Choice Band instead of Fury Belt, so I could KO Rayquazas easily. But I draw really really bad, and it was really heartbreaking because I needed to being able to continue the game and advance to top 4. I need to like triple elixir, double puzzle for double elixir to KO Rayquaza. So when I hit elixir hits, double puzzle, elixir hits, I almost die. It was like super heartbreaking. Like I can't believe I can actually 180 in that way, and that was really really nice. So that's my favorite game, I guess.
I guess my favorite game was at Latam IC like 2 years ago now, like 2018. It was my game on stream. I made this tournament without stipend at this time, and I was just here to get like a top 128 to get enough CP to come back into the top 16 at this point, or top 22. And I was like a 6-0 or 5-0 in the stream, and I was playing Zorgarb like for the second time because Marcus was playing that at the previous IC. And I was playing Cartana GX, and it was like a shit card at this point, and no one was playing that. And this game I won it with like the Blade GX on
It was
stream,
best.
and I was super happy, and it was like a really good tournament for me, like doing 9-0. So I think it's my best game in my career so far.
I had a lot of really nice games with Zoro Control at NAIC. I had a lot of really cool games with Flygon, Dusknoir, Exegor some years ago. It's really hard to tell. I had a really nice game last Worlds against Seb Simmons, like where I played Zoro Gap against the Zoro Lycanroc, because I attacked like with nothing but Oranguru basically. I was resource management or profound knowledge, because I wanted to use a non-GX and I wanted to play a really long game where I like get him out of resources and everything, and then I clean up with Trash Revenge, and it felt like a very controlled win in game 1, and then game 2 I bricked, and game 3 I did the same thing again. So like that felt really cool, and like it was generally close games, and it was close games. It was interesting, and yeah, it was really nice because it had so much resource management.
I really like my top 8 and top 4 games at last year's Worlds. Also like pretty exciting. I think won both with N2-1, and was actually pretty far out of reach both times, felt like, but then it somehow worked out. And also in the top 8 match I used a Tau map and then Katana's Jigs attack to draw a Layla out of prizes when I was breaking, so it was really funny.
Oh yeah, all the games where I had Town Map and me and my opponent to like 2 or 3 cards with Evil Targap, for example, and then took a knockout and took like the Lysander that I saw earlier in the prizes and left it there for exactly this situation, took the Lysander, my opponent has 2 cards to find like Lysander Energy himself or something like that, and then I have the guaranteed knockout next turn. So like all of the games where this happened, which are a lot, are also on the list.
I'm not really sure. I had in tournament settings, I have had so many crazy close games, which ended in like last turn of time, exactly knockout with exact top deck or whatever. In a lot of those, but I don't really know. You say one game I kind of enjoyed. It was final of UIC, not like last year in London, where I played Zoark, like Zorpod, the new Zoark thing, and I'm playing against Silvally GX in the final, which was its first big performance and its last, and it was a good reason for that, because the deck didn't seem too great, and I still had no clue how it really got there. It just almost felt like playing against a team deck, and I had like the most insane deck ever. It was just the difference, but power level difference between the decks were so insane. My deck was just more powerful, more consistent, more everything. And I got dunked game 2. I was still like, it's okay, that won't happen again. It's like, no way.
Poor Wimpot.
It was just absolutely insane. That was a lot of fun.
Do you like
guys-
pineapple pizza? I do.
Yikes.
No.
No,
No
I don't-
pineapple one.
I don't eat meat, so I guess pineapple pizza usually has ham on it.
He won Worlds, I won 3 internets, I guess pineapple was easy.
Would you guys ever play Stal in a regional level tournament?
If it's the best deck and unexpected, 100%.
I think we played Sheninja at UIC, so
That's a Stal, so
It's
I played Chedinja.
even more gimmick than
I
Storm.
mean, I played Zoro Control at NIC.
Yeah, we all played Zoro.
Everyone played Stal at one
I mean,
point.
yeah, I'm not a big fan of like straight control, but I very much like control decks that also have the
Flexibility.
option to like have aggression at certain points. Like Straight Toad was a very stall-based deck as well. That got your pawn out of energy, Zoro Control got your pawn out of energy. So like
Zoro Control was such a solid deck.
exactly,
Had like everything.
exactly.
You
You could
could
do
go aggressive, you could go
Yeah.
passive, you could go anything. And those types of decks are really cool. Where
Yeah,
you can grind your
exactly.
opponent down, but you have options to do and other
Oh,
things
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So
In this context, I also remember that this game which I really liked was Top 4 ECC, where I played Straight Toad versus Mewtwo, Mega Mewtwo, and like we played like aggressive game. I preferred that to try like taking prizes, but then in like I was in a tough spot in late game, but then I realized that my opponent had a very limited amount of resources left, so I just went for like dragging something up, I think, and like just decking him out. So like I really liked the option of the of Toad, straight Toad, to like have the different win conditions and like pick which one is best for the situation. And yeah, I really liked that game as well, because like things were going bad and then I just could go for the deck out instead of winning normally. Favorite TCG set?
Delta Species.
I really like Guardians Rising.
I mean, I guess TP times and stuff like that back when Laksham and Mew were a thing, at like the coolest cards. But back then I didn't know which card was from which set, I just knew roughly which cards are in the format. Well, I guess it's still more or less the case.
Also, Phantom Forces was really cool. Introduced a lot of really unique concepts, like Night March and like Trump card. And it was like, it basically doubled the amount of viable archetypes when it came out, I think.
This had Guardians Rising because it had Tapu Lele, I guess.
Yeah, and Garbodor.
Maybe. Yeah, Garbodor as well.
And so many good trainers, and Guardians Rising was amazing.
I really liked the first Hard Gold to Silver set because of the art style of the set, and also had a lot of good cards, and the prime cards looked super cool.
It's true, still has the best energies that there are. How long have you been testing for this world? Do you already have a pick? We've been here since Monday, so we've been here 4 days. And before that, we of course all of us already tested, like sporadically, not like every day, but like from time to time. So
We still have a couple more weeks, so it's okay. We will find the pick eventually.
we will still test for like 2 weeks, and we already tested like 1 week and like some pre-testing. So in total for this world, it will be like 4 weeks, I guess, maybe 3, 4, something like that.
One
Okay.
tip for anyone trying to get their invite this season: play a lot.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, that helps.
If you can play IC, it's
Play good and try to improve.
One tip.
Yeah, don't
Try to improve.
One tip.
I think
Okay.
trying to improve is even more important than playing a lot, because if you play a lot and you don't think about anything, it doesn't
Okay.
help you.
you can play a lot, have you
Doesn't
invite,
have to
and
improve.
doesn't improve your like play level. I mean, what
I mean, I guess
Like,
depends on what
someone
level
who-
you're starting. If you're
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a beginner, then you need to improve first
Yeah.
before you get your invite.
I think you should not focus on like specific goals too much, because like focusing on getting top 16 stipends, focusing on getting like your invite or something like that, just feels like bad focus and kind of unhealthy, because you try to have good RNG, like at least for like top 4 or something like that. That's the case where you just like basically hope to get good RNG. I think like just improving is more important, and then the results will follow naturally. So like, if you want to get your invite, just do your best and try to get better.
And don't stress out too much if it doesn't work out immediately. Like if you do bad at some cups, it's fine. You have like a lot of time in the season, and just like try to think why you did bad, and don't like get sad about it.
Also, don't play Greninja or the equivalent of it.
Also true.
I don't know about that.
The worst deck you ever earned CP with. I go first. I was Buzzwole. I made top 8. I was shit. Absolute garbage.
I don't remember if I got CP with Buzzrock. If I did.
Oh man.
I will say
Sagt das Joy-Con?
no.
Rayquaza.
Canyon?
Rayquaza.
No wait, you didn't get
They
CP
didn't
at
even
all.
get CP.
Maybe one of not the worst, but the most rogue decks. If we don't count Shedinja, because Shedinja was fine, not bad. But the most rogue deck, maybe Meganium. I won CP with Meganium, but it was super fun. So super fun.
I mean, I guess for me, it has to be Greninja
Agree.
or Blacephalon. I mean, personally, I would say
at least they admit
Blacephalon.
it.
Everyone else would say Greninja, but I would say Blacephalon.
I mean,
For
I've
me.
got lots of CP with like Super Mimi decks in the past, like Quad Ante X back in 2012 or something like that, or I don't know, but like in recent times, the worst deck I remember is probably Goddess Support Garbodor that I got top 4 with, because that deck, it was beginning of the season, so I think all decks were really bad, and like just for that alone, it was really bad already. But when I just tried to beat Gardevoir somehow, so I put in like everything I needed to like be consistent and beat Gardevoir, and I still think the matchup was kind of close because Gardevoir was so broken back then. So my deck felt really very wacky just because of this focus and the limited options back then. But yeah, then I had Garbotoxin and Trash Lunge and Garbodor stuff for all the other matchups as well. So that was kind of a logic. Counter Gardevoir and beat everything because you're Garbodor.
I just remembered I got CP with Metagross.
Oh yeah.
That's a pretty bad day.
Oh,
I played
boy.
against you twice in the tournament.
I should have just taken the ID.
What's the best way I'm predicting the meta? The best way to predicting the meta is always figuring out which decks are good. Because like there will always be hype around some decks, but if they are clearly bad, there can be as much hype as you want it to be. It will not be heavily played. And if a deck is really good and like not something super rogue, then it will be played as well.
Yeah, so test all the decks yourself and see if the decks are typed are actually good. And if they are, then you can try to counter them. And if
so
they're
like,
not, you don't need to bother about them.
Exactly, like if a deck's just garbage, then it's like back in Evil times I never bothered to counter Jolteon X because I knew that the card was garbage and it was impossible to build a good deck with it. So I just had to survive 2 rounds, and then at the latest I wouldn't have to bother against it. So like just focusing on which decks are actually good and can perform well after like 3 rounds usually helps you to metagame.
Yeah, for example at EUIC, like in testing it was kind of obvious that Pikachu was just like the by far best deck, and like it wasn't really that hyped, but then like most of the good players ended up playing it, and it was a Pikachu mirror in finals.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just like the best decks just end up being the most played as well.
Yeah.
Like the decks that you believe are the best decks.
Also, it's really hard to predict the meta at the bottom tables because, and also for first rounds, because even if a deck's only played like 3 times, you can just get randomly paired into it. So the first 3 rounds are always kind of random. But like if you just focus on which decks are actually good, then you will face those the later it gets in the tournament, because those will perform good because they are good. So like with Evital Garbodor at EOIC, the first one that there was, it was kind of the same. Evital Garbodor was not that popular even, but like felt like almost everyone that played it did well. So like especially in the later rounds, like all the top seeds were Evital Garb. So like it was easy to know that, and if you knew the matchup, so you definitely should have expected that, something like this. Yeah. How many of you will play the Capucha?
This is a stealthy hood in Spanish.
Oh, I guess not many.
Everyone.
Everyone will play
For
one
Capucha.
stealthy hood.
4 Capucha each.
In
Okay.
Viper
Next one.
rotated, right?
Yes.
So
Is there any mark rotated, Viper rotated? Is there any reason to play it?
No.
But it's
It's
Capucha.
a joke of my streaming.
Makes sense.
I see.
Sphere-
Vamos a la playa. Sphere got tag for Rashi's hat. For against Rashi or in
I think,
Rashi?
I think
in
it's
Rashi
against,
against
I guess to
Blacephalon.
not lose to Blacephalon, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's reasonable. I
If you
think
fear, join one Training.
Blacephalon is pretty good, and it definitely helps the matchup a lot. So it's not unreasonable.
Definitely fair enough.
You out to win the matchup, so.
Yeah.
Do you think top 22 is still fair for Europe? Should it be more or less? Well, generally, I think top 22 is kind of a lot, because it feels like, I don't know, feels a bit random. But on the other side, we don't have many tournaments, so like RNG is more important. So like it's kind of with top 22 it's kind of fair, because with more tournaments it's also like easier to control who gets in there, I guess. So kind of makes sense to have a bit more.
And
but-
as a European, I like
yeah, but
it.
it's hard.
Like compared with Latam, for example, who only get 8 spots, it's probably not exactly fair that we
Yeah.
get like more than double as many.
I guess most of
Worlds.
all, I think Worlds Day 2 should have a bit more players. I mean, I would love to have like double Swiss at Worlds as well, but I would settle for 8 or 9 rounds Swiss as well, like just more than 7 because the more rounds the better. Like basically always.
Yes.
So like, don't remove the amount of day 2 players, just like increase the other zones that have too little.
Yeah.
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 Who's the best overall gamer on this couch and behind the camera?
I think it's Lydia again.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah,
Especially in Sims.
Lydia's Sims 4 skills are amazing. Like, she can get 2 Sims married without any effort at all.
Certain players you have horrible win-loss rate against that you want to avoid. I really don't want to face Mark Lutz, but he's not playing anymore,
Oh.
so it's okay. I think I'm 0-5 against him, so actually can't beat that boy.
I don't think there's anyone. I mean, I generally don't want to face the people that play exactly the same deck as me.
So no one on this couch. Or
Yeah.
Not this couch. Yeah,
oh,
what about the rest?
There is one Spanish player that I always lost every time, so I don't want to face him anymore.
oh yeah, concerning this, kind of related there was earlier, like 10 hours ago, the question if I would play the same deck on day 1 as on day 2, and if I would play the same deck that the others play in day 2, if I'd play day 1. I guess not, because I would expect day 1 to be a bit broader of a meta. So like, I would try to beat decks that I would be fine losing in day 2, because I think in day 2 worlds certain decks would never perform well, and in day 1 worlds I think the possibility of facing random decks kind of higher, so I would kind of focus on a broader field in day 1.
So for me, the player, like one of the players I have the worst win-loss ratio against is just like Torres. It's Mark for me, but I don't dislike playing against him, because I really like playing against good players, because it's like these are the most exciting games, because you're not like, okay, I lose because of this or this like this, because it's like super.
You learn, yeah.
Yeah, you learn a lot, and it's sometimes almost even stressful, but in a fun way. And someone I don't want to play against because of a bad record is Alessandro, especially this season, because I just, like in Cannes I lost against him, in Bolzano I lost against him, then I lost in Bristol to him again, so please no stall, please. What about you?
Me, I think I have like a bad ratio against Stefan, but I don't want to avoid him. I think I just want to avoid any Japanese player, because I don't want to like discover random card from random deck from
Actually,
nowhere.
that's true.
And like I remember in 2016 I was playing Septile at Wars. I was in day 2 and I faced Volcanion. At this point, like Volcanion came from nowhere. It was really horrible deck. It even lost against Night March, and I was playing Septile, so at least I could like have a lunch break. But I just dislike playing a Japanese player.
True, Japanese are always like such a wacky concepts they bring to world. Like you think stuff like, oh, Golis support Decidueye is clearly bad because Volcanion's tier 1, they I don't care at all. Bring it on. Oh, you play Decidueye Ninetales, which is in this matchup 10,000 times weaker than my deck. Oh, sorry, mate. Are you not scared of your 100% tournament loss rate against me, Nico? Says Shifu.
I don't mind losing one game in a bad matchup, so it's fine.
Shifu is a bad match.
There was this EU gonna beat US at Worlds. I mean, I guess some EU players will beat some US players at Worlds.
And the other way around will probably happen as well.
Yeah.
But we will win the tournament, hopefully.
We'll do our best.
I mean, Europe won the latest international.
2000.
Now we gotta win Worlds again.
Let's go.
We won the USA International, right? Europe won.
True,
It's
definitely.
easy.
I read 3 years ago, like, Europe can't win or international.
Yeah, that was the best.
Why would you not call it US Nationals anymore? No one else can win anyway.
Let's be real. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, so far, NA.
The tweet was deleted.
It was so funny though. Like so far, no NA player has proven they can actually win it. Let's call it EU Nationals.
Yeah, sounds fair.
Question
Yeah.
for Torres. Despacito?
Despacito.
Despacito.
What does it actually mean? I have no idea.
Like slowly.
Hmm?
Like Slowly.
But that's not a
Slowly.
question.
Okay. Slowly?
Yes.
No turbo talked? Slowly? Despacito?
Depends. How much time we got?
Turbo Torres.
Oh yeah, turn NAIC into ECC. Yeah, but, I think that's a good idea.
But not with the pricing from ECC, please.
Yeah, that was trash, actually. Like, we had 300 players and the second place got like 2 boxes.
That's less than a special event top 8.
Yes.
ECC Pogger.
Your opinion on EYC being in Berlin again? It's amazing.
Very happy.
For you guys, of course.
Yes.
Amazing.
Berlin, best location. I didn't mind London too much, but Berlin is much cheaper and it's also really easy to get to, for me at least. Definitely in for that.
Kind of sucks for the others because our airport will probably not be ready by.
Oh yeah.
Hey, what do you mean? It got
next
finished.
season.
What do you mean? The airport will be ready in 2012.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Maybe once we are like 40 and still playing, and the
Still
USC will still
playing.
be in Berlin. Maybe
I
then
mean-
people will have a
I
real
mean,
airport.
the Hamburg Symphony or what it's called is finished as well. So Philharmony. I don't know if that's an English word. It's finished as well. So let's finish the airport next. Well, Japanese goal support guard was crazy. Actually, busted was probably best deck in format back then.
Yeah. So
Pretty sad. We overlooked it.
It was always clunky, but for that tournament it seemed like the play.
Yeah, I mean, it
For
wasn't
sure.
that clunky in the end. It was
It had all the matchups
Yeah,
it needed,
exactly.
so
they were all the matchups.
should have at least managed to find it.
Yeah, I guess the Japanese guy made a misplay that cost him the game, or didn't he? I don't remember it exactly
definitely.
anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Couldn't beat
So I
Fabien.
guess
Couldn't beat Salazar.
He
was okay against
he
Vulcan. You
discarded
could,
all his
I
you
was
could,
just
so
playing
you could
Isidore
just
face
play it.
random
You
for
could just
Japanese
play it
Salazar.
as Tapulele Garbodor against Vulcanian, so that was okay. Like not a great matchup, but you play like Tapulele, like Trash Challenge, and then you attach like 1 energy to a Wimport and take a GX attack 1 shot at 1 point, so it was okay.
the Spiritomb Frostless have a chance.
Why
A
would
chance
it?
at what? At sitting at the bottom tables? Probably.
I mean,
Hopefully you don't lose to the deck.
In general,
it
Maybe I will
sounds,
play the deck.
when you play Spiritomb, I guess you expect to be good against tag teams, so I don't quite understand why you put Frostless in there to counter tag teams even more. Instead, try to cover like your weaknesses, and like Malamar is personally what I would try with Spiritomb.
Yeah, I don't think Frostlass is what you need to beat Malamar, really.
or that you could just play Spiritomb and hope to avoid every Malamar.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can play Spiritomb Frostless and hope to face only Reshizard.
Vanna
but-
definitely has a chance of doing well.
But
Yeah.
the popular Shar variant with greens has like
True.
5, 6, 7 healing cards, so
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
even
true.
sure you beat that.
Also,
yeah.
Mewtwo can be a thing in our Reshis, so
Also true.
I don't know. Frostless does not like Frostless definitely doesn't seem like the best partner for Spiritomb. But some other Spiritomb builds maybe.
Shit.
Would Bochum be a good EOS? Honestly,
No.
no.
Yes, why not?
No. No
It's
airport.
like I don't know.
That's
It's
Düsseldorf Airport.
I
which
mean,
is
it's-
better than
Yeah,
Berlin
but
Airport.
You need
I
to
mean,
take like a train and
Cologne,
train
Cologne,
Germany.
Cologne maybe, Düsseldorf maybe, but
Cologne.
Bochum I don't
Cologne.
know.
Cologne.
It's kind of way too
I mean,
small.
every city
Really
here is
so.
basically the same. It's like
Cologne,
one big
yeah.
city.
But
Actually,
Cologne has
that's
its own
true,
airport.
but still. EOIC, I don't know. Berlin seems more hyped than Bochum. Any more questions? We had all the...
Nah, I can probably call it, right? Or
If anyone has any questions, then quickly leave them in chat. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we will probably go offline soon.
No, it has... How does this go? I don't know. Can someone play waiting room music?
No, you.
One last round of questions.
Canada got another regional. Where should it be?
I don't know.
I guess on the other
East.
coast.
I don't
Was it
even know where
East Coast?
Toronto
Was it
is.
West
Toronto
Coast?
is East Coast.
I would
So-
personally like East Coast
So
because...
West, yeah, Vancouver, I guess.
Ga-
Would
what?
be good.
In Quebec, it would be good. Then I can find baguette and
Garbodor.
speak French.
Garbodor's definitely the answer to Garbodor. What's BDF and why is it Fossil? Because it has the stadium that makes it kind of consistent to play Fossil.
Bastard.
You can play Axio.
If it is BDF. most played decks in day one: Pikazek, Reshizard, Malamar, Darkbox. I guess that's
I'd
it.
expect a lot of Pikachu.
Yeah.
And Blaze
I
One
mean,
and Malamar, I think.
So
would
Jay-
be
oh
good.
yeah, Blaze, I forgot that one. But like saying like one deck will be most played doesn't say you much because it's at most 20% ever. So like that's like 1/5 of a meta. So yeah.
But last time we had mid-season rotation, we had like 2 or 3 decks in format. So
Take
who knows?
Worlds back
Probably
to
was
how-
like 50% Typhlosion ratio, right?
I wasn't even that much. Even
I don't know.
back then it wasn't that much. So it was probably still like 20 something.
Yeah.
Take Worlds back to Hawaii. I'm totally into that. Worlds in Hawaii was the
Really
most
in-
amazing Worlds experience I ever had.
Yeah,
So
but with the current system, it simply doesn't make sense.
And there was a question: does Quackneck have a chance?
No.
And
no.
I think
Dark Race, Quakeneck
Hey
better.
guys,
I think Quackneck with Keldeo isn't that bad. It just loses to Malamar.
I played a total amount of 6 tournament games against Quackneck, and 3 of them my opponent bricked. And that was before Nest Ball and Ultra Ball rotated. So if you think that Quack will set up 80% of the time or more without Nest Ball and Ultra Ball, maybe. But I heavily doubt it.
A senior asked, what do you think of Ultra Malamar for day one?
You
think
said
we
it,
can.
so it's fine.
I think
we have
Malamar
a
is one of the best decks,
Seems
and
decent.
Ultra might be the best Malamar
Yeah.
deck. So it's definitely a decent choice.
Someone also, like, we don't see it right now anymore. Someone asked what we think is a player that should have made 22 but didn't.
I think
Really?
Like,
I think definitely Mediafi. He didn't play that much this season. It's like he's really good. Have always good idea of deck and spicy thing and general good things. Unfortunately, he had like a bad UIC, but I think he should be in top 22 if he play more next year.
I think Philip Schulz.
yeah.
If you
Also, but
Yeah, for sure.
if you have a
He
special
always has
invite
good
left.
ideas.
Also, yeah, Sander Wojcik. He's not in top 22.
No.
Oh, actually, Sander made like we had 4 regionals. He made top 8 at 3 of those and top 16 at the other one.
Yeah.
So like he had an amazing year. Definitely should have made top
It was
22.
like the best performing European player at regionals, I think. But he didn't have international points, I believe so. And international
Yeah.
points are like super
Unfortunately,
important.
Unfortunately, he decided
Yeah.
to play Mill in Berlin and got screwed by that.
But yeah, it's definitely a player that probably should have been in.
Yeah. Yeah. Is Behemoth any good in your guys' opinion? Have any of you tested it? No, we have not tested it. Generally, it can
Do
be
we
good.
want to test it?
I don't.
Looks fun.
I mean, it shuffles itself back, so you can't even play it with a strike or anything. So I don't know. Seems very hard to loop. Seems like a funny concept, but also very slow, very vulnerable, very inconsistent. But I don't know. Also, it's unfortunate that those decks like Behemoth suffer from Raichu, Alolan Raichu, and Raichu Tag Team being one of the best cards in the format. So like, because it can easily paralyze, so you usually want to have outs to start special conditions. So that can hurt you, and you're also inconsistent, so I don't think Behemoth has much potential. Nice Silverstein poster is covering Waterfall. It's amazing. Yes, it is. The poster's amazing. I got it with Lydia at the concert. Was great. What's the way to be Pika around this world? That's actually a good question.
I think most other tier 1 decks
I guess
are
play
like
Medichan.
50-50 against it.
Yeah, like
It's
Yes.
actually playing better than your opponent, I think, is a good way to beat Pikarum. Also going first.
yeah, I think it's really
Whoa,
good.
what the
No.
It's really good, but it's not like oppressive. It
Yeah,
doesn't
exactly.
have super favorable matchups. It's just
It's
all
one.
around decent.
It's one of those decks that just takes a lot of even matchups, and it's extremely like I think Pikarum's the most consistent deck there is this format, because like just your amount of Dedenne hours and like it feels like you always get your turn to full blitz, so super consistent, even matchups overall. So hard to beat, but you can just win it against it in a close game.
Persian on Noon again at GX and Blacephalon. Right now I'm playing neither in my Blacephalon list, but I haven't tried the heavy full like Naganadel GX version yet. Looks kind of cool, but Right now, I would just play like Didena and no other fancy stuff.
You ever feel some cards were printed in the wrong format and never used to its full potential?
Greninja.
True.
I think yes, but I don't remember.
What?
Oh, there's a really cool combo with, I don't know what they're called, Papinella, Pudox. That's probably German names.
Dustox and
Dustox.
Beautyfly, I guess.
Dustox and Beautyfly, where Dustox is like when you put it down, it auto paralyzes your opponents and poisons, and it's puts your 3 poison per turn, and Beautyfly is like, it snipes 50 for 1 energy and can do 30, and if it takes a knockout, it doesn't get damage or anything next turn. So like generally a super cool concept because you can like always also the stage 1 says put 4 stage 1s from a deck on the bench. So that's the really cool concept where you have lots of control, you paralyze opponent, you snipe around and always make them KO end of their turn, or you take one knockout with Beautyfly, but it gets completely wrecked by Mew. So like it's a really cool concept, but it can absolutely not be played, so maybe in another time it would have been cool.
I think there's a lot of cool stage 2s over the past few years that just can't really compete with GX or with
Actually,
tag teams
true.
nowadays that could have been really good like 10 years ago when stage 2s used to be playable.
Yeah, like I think generally in the last few sets, the weaker cards that don't make top tier decks got much better than earlier on, because I just looked through like all the cards that are in the format, and I realized at the beginning when Ultra Prism most cards were really weak and most cards didn't even make sense, but the closer it gets to the current time, the more interesting the cards get. So like lots of cards that got released recently that just aren't strong enough could have been great in other formats.
For example, the new Chandler, it's like super unique and it doesn't really seem too bad, but probably still can't really compete with Full Blitz turn 2.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that.
Alright. Who's the most intense person?
Blame Pedro for wrong link.
What?
I blame you, Pedro.
Yes, Pedro.
What's the play for?
Whichever deck
Greninja.
you tested the most, feel comfortable with, and setups 80% of the time. Because like it's not, I don't think it's a format where something's clearly best. I think it's a format where you have to play well and have a consistent deck and outs to like most other decks and just play the game instead of hoping for auto wins.
Just make sure to not pick the deck the day before, okay? That's the...
Make
Make
sure.
Make sure. It's a bad strat. It worked last year, but it's a bad strat. Don't do it.
The most intense person in the room.
To playing against, I think it's Todd, because you always look like super angry and super focused when playing.
I guess.
Like Pedro and Robin look super chill. Fabien as well, he's just sitting there like, oh, I'm playing my cards, and Todd's like, I'm gonna smash you.
Give me your disco pile.
No.
I'm
gonna
focused,
lose.
Okay? Cheap.
Yeah. I guess that's it with the questions.
I see 5 Europeans and 1 Yodel.
You're the Yodel.
Actually,
the
I'm not
Yodel.
European, I'm Brazilian, okay? So
Oh.
still
The Yodel.
Alright. Yeah. He's the only non-European, so he's the Yordle, because that's another question. But yeah. Guess what it's, guys. Oh, thank you for tuning in. I hope you had your question answered. I hope it helps you with something. If you need other tips for life, like study philosophy, it will help you.
No.
Yeah. And thank you, and that's it. And goodbye.
See you at Worlds, guys.
Bye bye.